welcome back, Warren Storbeck, to part two. And the first part there, it's been quite interesting. This sort of what I got from it, Warren, was more sense of this idea of starting. Just start. It's sort of find a way that's going to help you start, and then sort of get your sort of emotional well-being. As you said, you went just the idea of going home. You went back to South Africa for to visit family and that, and just little things like compliments, people noticing the change, and that all sort of really helped with your mental well-being with it, and wanting to continue the cycle essentially.
Yeah, that's it. Accountability, just putting your hand up and knowing that you got a problem and you need to do something about it. Just
Sure.
just be that person and say, yes, I've got a problem. Let's address it. And I always have, and just more now over this whole transition, had a few people reaching out to me, and I've always just said, you can see the top psychiatrist, you can have the best medicine in the world, you can create a platform with whatever religious belief you are, but until you put your hand up and saying that you need help, there's no point in having any of that, because you can go to rehab. If there was a rehab for fat people and I went there, I could do that while I'm there, and as soon as I come out, I could just go back to how I was. Yeah, because you're not holding yourself responsible on that sort of front. So it's just the acknowledgement is a big part that plays a role in it.
Sure. So I'm really, really intrigued with the mental aspect of that, and with sort of being overweight, and how that affected you mentally, and sort of what sort of depths were you at? Was sort of was it just more a thing of shame, or is it deeper than that? Where are you mentally with like eating and obesity? And
it was at such a stage where we had lived many years ago. I was from 2003 to 2007. At that stage, a lot of South Africans came over who I'd grown up with. I went home for 14 years. I came back here in 21. And, people wanted to see me, and I would make arrangements. And I was like, yeah, okay, we'll see you. We'll do this and that. And when it came to that time, because I knew I was big and they hadn't seen me as big as I was, photos are very deceiving as well. I was just like, oh, I'm just going to embarrass myself. I'm just going to make up some feeble excuse that I'm working or I'm not feeling well, and I just wouldn't go. So I was just letting people down, that people were wanting to see me or wanting to come over to my place and visit, and that I was just letting people down. I would just order my groceries online. I was too embarrassed to go to the shop because I was like walking around, and people, I wouldn't say they're ruthless. It's the way they feel, the way they want to express themselves, which you got to appreciate in that as well. People are entitled to their views. And I just wasn't prepared to put up with that, because it was more like, oh, there's the fat guy walking around the supermarket. He shouldn't be at the supermarket. But people also need to know you've got to eat to survive. You've got to eat the right foods to survive and to lose weight.
Yeah.
So, and so at work, and that I had opportunities to go to Twickenham, to various other events, and I was like, I'm just not up for the walking, because you walk quite a bit. I said, I'm not fit enough. I'm just going to let everybody down. I'm going to be dragging. People are going to want to be not harmful. They would slow themselves, land up getting irritated. That's when the comments would start flying. So I literally put that off for 3 years. And, the whole mental side of it, you're on social media with me. I posted something at the end of November. Like last month was literally my best month I've had in the UK. I went to 3 international matches. I went to 2 football matches, and it wasn't a brag post. Some people, I've heard the comments out there, oh, he's just bragging. No, it's not bragging. It's motivation for other people. Like, once your headspace is right, You know,
Mm.
once you go through this whole transition, your confidence is there. You can achieve whatever you want to, you know. And it's always been my dream of going to watch live sports and that. And I just wasn't mentally and physically in shape because being a big guy, you've been to these stadiums, you go sit there on these little plastic chairs.
Yeah.
I would need two then. Now I only need one. So it's
Wow.
yeah. So I only it's that whole mental state again that I keep saying that I've got the confidence. I'm able to do that. You know,
Mm.
I'm even walking quicker than some of my directors now. When you walk from Twickenham down to the stadium, well, from the train station down to the stadium, they're like having to catch up to me now, and we have a good chuckle about it. So
That's great
yeah,
news. That's great
yeah,
news. I think too. It's just as you said. It's not a bragging post. It's like, but it's just it's reaffirming. Like, man, things are going well.
yeah,
It's those, just and to see that, like things like Facebook memories are amazing. Like you go back, man, I've done some cool stuff, over the years. It's kind of Facebook's documented my life, and now and again I'll have a bad day, man, and I'll go into Facebook memories like, wow, I was in, I don't know, Dublin this time 20 years ago or 15 years ago, and I was doing this, and you know what I mean? I think it's a great way to just sort of keep a smile on your face as well. There's a lot of benefits to social media, and particularly, if you use it in the correct way, which like you've done. It's
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So quite what was interesting and stuck with me was that you said about the comments, you know, the comment, and you just like did you get to the point? It's like I just need to avoid these comments with the people I love, essentially, or my friendships and that, because it's starting, just to because it's starting to get. But then is that your way of telling yourself like I'm fully aware, the world's aware of what's going on now? I need to do something about this, or was it just, oh man, I got to hide away? I'm just trying to imagine, trying to imagine that sort of frame of mind where you are, where you just sort of you'd rather not do anything than sort of as sort of as he said, let people down. It's quite a dark space, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You don't, at that current time, you don't actually, well, you know where you are until you come out of it. You realize like how you actually excluded yourself and what you
Mm.
went through. And, it was, for me, it was just better going ghost for literally just over a year. I saw certain people at certain times, but
Mm.
also it wasn't a game. But for me, I was just stuck. Okay, now I've lost a little bit of weight. I'll let a percentage of myself be exposed to certain people.
Yeah.
I'll let myself, and those would be the people that were supporting me. Those would be the people that were in my corner and who were right for me. I wouldn't go to people that would be over criticizing
Mm.
or that sort of stuff because then that would just knock me back.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Sure, sure. You have to sort of choose to pick your battles almost and
yeah,
see
yeah,
who's there.
that's it.
Um, yeah. So let's get into that. So you gone that you got to the point where you're like, all right, enough's enough. And then you started your journey with that sort of the Manjaro and various, and then you get to the point where you're like, okay, I have to do this by myself now. I can't be depending on these expensive products. Of what part of the journey sort of do you when you sit down on that scale to see your progress and stuff like that, how does that sort of go? Like, say you put on a couple of kgs with that. How do you what's going in your head when you're sort of dealing with that? So not to sort of dip your toe back in that dark place again. What's going on in your head to sort of keep, okay, I've got to, I've put on a couple of kgs, but that's not a big deal. We'll reassess that this week, or how are you approaching that for yourself to sort of just keep that positivity, because you can't just be doing great all the time. Life's not like that, I guess. So you
Yeah,
know
100%. So if you've got to recover. For me, it's always you're gonna fall, you're gonna have bad day, two, you might have a bad week, but it's how you recover. And what you've learned, or what I've learned, is how to maintain and how to recover. So yeah, it's just again, it's just the mental battle of how badly do you want this. You're gonna have one or two. I've had a busy weekend. I got football tickets at the last minute. I drove 3 hours. Wasn't food prepared, so we had to stop at a services and have something that wasn't in my diet schedule, but I still
Mm.
needed to eat and get something in my system.
Yeah, yeah. Sure, sure, sure. Well, what things like alcohol and that? So, what's your relationship with alcohol? So, red-blooded male from South Africa. And I remember going out when we were all working together. We go to the pubs. I mean, in those days, particularly early noughties. I mean, drinking hundreds. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but drinking sort of
Close.
eight, eight, 8 to 12 pints of beer with shooters, and that was a fairly common night out. And then as you said that, so what's your relationship with alcohol now? Because I find if I drink too much, like my diet just goes down the toilet. Have you had to sort of curb that stuff? Do you still have a drink now and again, or have you sort of dropped booze altogether?
I'll still have a drink now and then, but I went to go off on a bit of a tangent. I had a very bad relationship with alcohol. I didn't know it at that time, and
Hmm.
growing up being a loudmouth, being a reckless drinker, being the sense of attraction, want to be that main guy, drinking, showing
And
guys
Derbs
out.
as well. I mean, Derbs is a party town. You
Yeah,
pretty much grew up there in the party area. I'd
yeah,
say, yeah,
definitely. And it would be like, oh, I'm the hero. I'm going to show these guys I can smash the shooters out like 10 in a row. Like that.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
and then about 2018, I literally stopped drinking, I think, for probably 2.5 years. We went down the coast on one of my cousin's birthday weekends. We had a incident where we got robbed, and I was like, that's a telltale sign.
yeah.
That's it. I'm done. We got back at my friend's place. I still had a cooler box full of dope. I said, that's for you guys. I'll see you in 6 months. Never saw anybody for 6 months. Stopped drinking for 2.5 years, but I didn't see anybody. And I needed to go through that little bit of a transition to
Mhm.
realize that I didn't need alcohol to fit in with people. And I'm not knocking alcohol or whatever. I still have a drink from time to time. I might have a bit too many at time to time, but I can now know that I don't need alcohol to survive in that. When I want to on
Yeah.
my terms, then I'll drink in that. So
Mm.
I went to, as I said earlier on, I went to a couple of rugby matches, football matches. I've had a couple of drinks in that, but I can go out now and know that I don't need to drink. But I have found when I have gone out and had a drink, like you said, it messes up with your diet. I can see the next day when I jump on the scale because I jump on the scale most days, but I know when I jump on the scale after going out and doping the night before, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
But
It's
but
prepared for that, yeah.
but I know it's not going to be pretty because I haven't slept well. My I've had too much sugar in the alcohol. I've eaten something wrong the night before. So again, it's for me a challenge is okay, I know I can fast for the next 24 to 48 hours and I'm going to lose that weight. So, again, it's a game you play where, yeah, I can go out and drink now,
Mm.
but I'm going to lose that weight anyway. I'm not going to put it back on. I've put it back on, but I'm going to lose it just as quick because I know what to do now and how to do it.
Yeah,
So,
sure,
yeah,
sure.
alcohol. I'm in a good relationship with alcohol now. I don't let it control my life, and if I want to dope, I'm going to have a drink, and I know how to recover and
Mm.
what to do and what my limitations are as well.
It is the catalyst for most bad decision making. Booze, you go up, like, hey, let's go have a quick drink before we go, da, 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 and you know,
Mm.
it
And then
just, yeah, there's the week gone, weeks ruined. Yeah, I know it's interesting. So it's essentially it's affected all sort of forms of your life, sort of socially and again culturally as well. You come from a culture where alcohol is a big part of it, as in the UK. This
mm,
popping out for let's give a quick pint, quick pop and that. And I'm actually seeing here in Johannesburg now, a lot of people, although there's still a lot of big drinkers, there's a lot of people just calling it a day.
Yeah.
On the booze. My brother did that. He just sort of called it a day. He's been about 10 years sober now. And
Wow.
yeah, it's sort of just it just became it was messing with him. It was like it was messing with his decision making and going out. It stopped being fun, and stuff like that. He was drinking for the extroverted because he sort of struggled with anxiety as well. So I think it was his way to get around the anxiety as well. And
Mm.
that and Yeah, he's doing great now. Again, it's the decision making, and for me, it's come across because I drink a lot less, although I still do binge drink, go out, have a big night out and that, but it's few and far between. At one point, it was 3 days, 3 nights of the week. At one point, my 30s, late 30s, was going out, and it was just normal. Oh, it's Wednesday, it's karaoke night, and you go,
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah.
let's go, and wake up with this sore head. It was so normal, and
Mm.
it really isn't. It's just not to get that to get around sort of the decision making. So has your decision making improved in all spheres, like making this decision to lose the weight? Has it sort of given you the confidence to go, do you know what? I need to make changes here as well, I need to make a career change? Has it really sort of helped you, has it sort of flipped your worldview almost in society, and you know
Yeah, it has. I think a lot clearer. I think I've always been a hard grafter, and I've been managed to have the discipline. I'd go out on a bender, get home at 3, 4 o'clock, but I'd still be at work at 6:30 or 7, whatever it was at that time.
Mm.
So it's just it's the discipline as well where it kicks in, and the weight loss has improved my work career, being able to make better decisions, clearer
Yeah.
decisions, being a bit more calmer. I haven't been as hot-headed as I can be at times. Um, so it talks all into one another, and that about the discipline as well.
Mm.
Um, with losing weight, getting a bit more confidence, I want to get out more, but it's also the discipline of knowing that when you're out here in the UK, that most of the things revolve around alcohol. So it's,
Yeah.
again, what you said earlier on, choosing your battles of where to
Yeah,
go,
yeah,
what
yeah.
to do.
Sure. Particularly now, I mean, the eating and drinking in December in England, and I'm sure the rest of Britain, it's chronic. And like as I found going out too, like here, one thing I do like about so Johannesburg's the same in a lot of ways. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to go eat something or drink something. That's the but this idea of sort of just going up, finding things to do there that doesn't revolve around eating or drinking. It's pretty tough, isn't it? It's kind of,
Yeah,
so how important has hobbies been? Have you sort of found yourself developing interests and I don't know, in others, is it sort of forced you to like, okay, I need different things to do at home and out there, have you joined any clubs or, how's that sort of taken a turn for you socially?
in terms of homes and that I've at home before I get outdoors, I've always been a sports fanatic in that, but I'd find myself because I was unhealthy, and it's actually a bit of a common joke between my mates and I would fall asleep anywhere. I could sit at the bus stop waiting for the bus, and I would just head down, fall asleep, and be-
Yeah,
and that was just because I had bad sleep apnea. My when my head went like that, my I would like just sort of basically cut off. And as
yeah,
well, I would do that at home. I would love tests, like test cricket, sit and watch a whole 5 day. But I got to a stage where it's pointless because I'd sit on the couch, I'd fall asleep. And now I can actually watch a full sporting event without falling asleep. It sounds a bit pathetic in that, but being a sports lover, I can actually sit and watch that. And
mm,
I've developed a bit of a I enjoy walking and that with my whole transition. I've done these couple walking challenges where you walk 2 miles a day. So I'd get myself into a routine weekends, smash that out first thing in the morning, or
mm.
on weekdays after work, get that done.
Sure.
Um, so
How,
a stupid little thing of like cleaning my house. Yes, I always lived in a clean house, but now that I'm a lot fitter, I put in a bit better effort.
Yeah.
There's no domestic cleaners, yeah. So you are your own domestic cleaner, and I do a much thorough, better job. And as much as I've invested in my own health in terms of money, I've invested in my own home. I've sprouted up my own home. I've got like a decent vacuum cleaner, decent floor polisher, that sort of things, and I've also kitted out my house, made it a lot more comfortable for
Mm.
myself because I'm comfortable in my own environment now.
Yeah.
So, in terms of hobbies, I'm getting more into the sort of fitness thing now of walking. I've got a few weights where I'm doing a few weights at home and that sort of thing. Got a stationary bike. So, that fitness is becoming a hobby of mine. I'm trying to get it to the next level of going to a physical gym or doing CrossFit or something, letting that become a hobby
Sure.
as well. People are like, oh, you're putting yourself through exercise and how can that be a hobby? I'm like, well, it's investing in my health. People play Sunday cricket or Saturday cricket or Sunday
Mm.
football as a hobby. So it sort
Yeah.
of ties into each other.
Yeah, it's amazing what just regular walking will do. It's something I sort of do well the last few weeks, not so much, but I do go through this last year and this year I've walked I've walked a lot, and people really underestimate just the value of daily walking. 20 minutes. What do you do? Sort of like, how long do you walk for? Do you like go, all right, it's 2 miles a day, I'm not stopping till it's done? Or, do you have like half an hour in the morning? What's your process with that?
So I'll go for on weekends. I do probably 2.5 to 3 miles because I've got the time, and
Yep.
that generally takes me just over an hour and 10 minutes or so. But when the weekdays, when I'm pressed for time, I just do the 2 miles. I go a little bit over the 2 miles depending on the route I take, and
Hmm.
that generally takes me between 40 to 45 minutes. So I gauge myself on that, on my performance of what I've done. Funny enough, I actually went to your old hometown, Brighton, a good couple months ago. I discovered this, where the cliffs are, the white cliffs. There's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
3 mile walk. So I thought to myself, okay, 3 miles, I can do that.
Mm.
So I got to 1.5 miles and I saw like these cliffs aren't finishing. What's going on? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought I'd go for another like half a mile, and it still wasn't finishing. So I just went, and eventually at halfway was 3 miles, and I was like, "Geez, Warren, you like kind of you put yourself in a situation now." So I had a rest for 10 minutes. I got up and
Okay.
I'd walked the 3 miles back, so that was 6 miles, and I was like,
Mm.
"Geez, 6 months ago you would have never ever done that."
Yeah, yeah. And
So
it's that get those moments of where you're just telling your brain, no, you can do it.
yeah,
That's
indeed.
yeah, yeah, and sort of proving to yourself that you can. It must have been quite a great sort of turnaround to sort of go from that low point to go, "Ah, wow, avoiding walking and essentially, and then sort of going to like, man, because I've done that walk and that's there. It's not an
Yeah.
easy walk, man. That's
No,
there.
no, especially with the
Yeah,
sea blowing and the salt in your lips after like a
makes you
mile, you
feel
start
alive.
tasting. Yeah, yeah. But also, like back to the hobbies, and that I've always enjoyed traveling. But being a big guy, you're standing in that queue. Let's say we're
Mm.
flying, and people are like, "Geez, I hope I'm not sitting next to that fat bastard." Um, and 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 you could see it on people's face in that, and I enjoy
Uh,
traveling in that, and it's actually become easier. When I was a lot bigger, I'd always have to ask for an extra belt, but when I went back to South Africa, I've been twice this year. On the second time, I didn't need the belt extender, and I was like,
yeah,
okay, this is
nice.
better.
Yeah,
This is
yeah, yeah.
better.
This
And
is
I've
where I want to
also
be.
and with my whole transition and being in a better space, I've managed to get a better car so I can travel a little bit further and traveling, and I can go to Southend on sea, and on weekends I do that. I go for a walk, and that's becoming a hobby, going to see each different little town because I'm more confident to walk out in the high
Mm.
street without anybody overlooking or passing too many comments because I'm at a reasonable size and I'm still a big guy, but not
Mhm. Sure.
extra large. I'm now large,
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the
Cool.
hobbies that just also talks to the whole transition of picking up. So it's something you've given me to think about now. I need to actually start finding a bit of a different hobby now as well. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, I took the one. My big discovery was because I spent. I got a big old cholesterol scare, and well, it wasn't even a scare. It wasn't a shock. It was just a scare. You know, you need to be told these things. But so I was like, all right. So I just, and then COVID happened, and all that stuff. So, and then I had the Rona, and I was basically, I found myself at home a lot. I had to stop going out, and I just needed to turn this around. And it was very interesting to sort of to just, all right, what can I do? And I started keeping fish tanks, and keeping. I still got them here. I had like 10 at one stage. It got a bit silly, but it was cool to have something to tinker at home with. Get home from work, so I was working the laundries in those days. Come back and then tinker, clean a thing, or get this. How's this fish doing? Test the water, and it went very nerdy, and I thoroughly. But it really gave me something to do at home, and think about and stuff that was outside of the world and work and all of that stuff. So yeah, I
yeah,
managed to drop my cholesterol. That was yeah, I was scared. I was sitting at like 11 or something, and the
wow,
guy's like, yeah, it was bad. So yeah, it's come down a lot, but
that's
just
awesome.
yeah, I know. So yeah, I've been very pleased with it. So, but here's the thing: it's just keeping the right thing, and then it's keeping it sort of consistent. So
Discipline,
Warren,
yeah,
yeah, discipline. That's it. So yeah, not that I'm the most disciplined, but I'm a lot more disciplined than I was. That's for damn sure. So let's summarize and end this off. It's been a really interesting chat, actually. Just see it, and congratulations on anything. If on everything you've done, and just the new space. I think particularly mentally, it's sort of just going. There's a whole world out there, I guess, and just feeling better about yourself. What can you tell someone if they, as you said earlier, this could be stopping drinking alcohol, drugs, or whatever. What can you just give people advice about, with whether it's their weight journey, whatever they're facing in life, to do? What's the best way to get going?
this,
Do you
you
think?
know, how I feel is, people always say you got to do it for yourself. Yes, you got to do it for yourself, but you also you got to do it for those loved ones around you. You got to do it for them as well, because those people love you for a reason. Your friends love you for a reason. People want to be friends with you because of your character and the person you are. So as much as you got to do it for yourself, you got to do it for other people as well. You got to do it for your work colleagues as well, because hopefully they enjoy working with you and they want you to be around, and they don't want a unhealthy, grumpy person, because most people that are unhealthy, they are a bit more grumpier because they're not in a good space. They don't know where to
Yeah.
go, they don't know what to do. So do it for yourself, is 75% of the time, but you got to think of those other people out there as well, people that
Mhm.
that want you around. And if I was in my headspace where I am now 15 years ago, and everything happens for a reason, life lessons, blah de blah blah, I would have probably been off a lot better. But that's just another whole conversation.
Mhm.
So do it for yourself. If you know you got a problem, just take accountability. Say, I've got a problem. What can I do about it? And just own up to it, and just you got to give it a good go.
Mhm.
And you know you put in a situation, and only to handle as much as you can. And it's difficult at that time to absorb, like, geez, I'm at breaking point, I can't handle much more. But you know I am become quite a religious, sort of spiritual person, and I just firmly believe that God only gives you as much as you need and as much as you want. I came over to the UK this time on a student visa, and I was like, how am I going to do this? And I didn't know at that time how I was going to do it, but I've managed to pull it off. Four and
Mhm.
a half years later, I'm on a work permit, surviving, having the time of my life. And
Yeah.
at that time, I didn't know how I was going to do it. And when I came through it, I was like, that actually wasn't too bad. What's the next hurdle?
Yeah,
But
sure.
it
Sure.
all just talks to you, the person, or you as an individual, how you want to succeed, what you want in life.
Sure.
How badly you want something, and I badly want to be a healthier, skinnier person. I don't think I'm ever going to be a stick man, but I want to be a healthier, skinnier person. So I'm never going back to that 209 kg person. I can guarantee you that. As much as at the moment where I'm starting to fight this battle myself without the Manjaro and without the help of Nick from Best Body Coach,
Hmm.
I've got to do this by myself now. So that's the third thing.
Hmm.
So
So
I just got
you're
to
in
get
that
these.
you're in that stage now. It's like, okay, I need to find this thing and works for my lifestyle now,
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
and
Because
maintain it. Yeah.
yeah, the confidence is back. I've just discipline as well because I want to like go into central London now, and I just got to be disciplined and make good choices and see where we go.
Sure. Warren Storbeck, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you reaching out,
Yeah,
knowing each other
yeah.
for years. Love following your story as well. Take my hats off to you from being security, going down to Brighton, I think it was, studying music and
Yeah, yeah,
following
that's
your
it.
dreams. So that
Yeah.
was inspiration to me as well. There's this chap going to study music at the age you were and
Yeah.
progressing.
Yeah, it was an interesting it's interesting time to go from. Do you know, with the security, remember how much night shifts we were doing, and I
Yeah.
actually went and I actually turned a yellow color from doing all those night shifts, and yeah, I remember that was, just doing this, going to varsity every day, and this one of my housemates said, "Dude, you're not yellow anymore. You're a yellow color." We didn't notice at the time. You're not
No,
yellow
no.
anymore.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks so much for the compliment, and yeah, keep in touch, and yeah, I'll be in touch with what we do, and we'll release these at some point. Okay, thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean. So,
Do you have any online socials you want people to access, or is this just your personal
um,
thing?
yeah, I've got an Instagram page and I've got a Facebook page. The transformation of Vorsi to Warren or WLS, depending on the platform. Vorsi was my reckless, youthless youth name.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, during my transition, I stopped people
Boss.
calling me that, yeah, Vors, because that
Boss.
was my growing up name. But once I
Yeah.
realized my identity, it doesn't faze me what people call me anymore. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to take it on the chin because you got higher concerns to deal with now.
yeah,
Bigger things.
100%.
Yeah, yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
so those are the platforms. Follow me for some inspiration. Follow my journey, and let's see where we land up.
Warren Storbeck, thank you so much. Take care, and we will see you soon. Keep in touch, bud.
Yeah, Sean, all the best. Bye.
Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be